Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about how you can be confident in a texturist society. And this is for four type girls with kinky hair, particularly for C type hair. How do we navigate this texturist society with confidence? And the reason why I'm talking about this today is because it occurs to me regularly. Like every now and then I have to think about how am I going to get through this situation and still feel confident in myself. Particularly when I am out with my friend who has very loose textured hair. Um, She's half Indian. Her father is Indian. Her mother is an African woman. So her hair she does have like an afro, but it's a curly afro. So a loose curly afro. So I think her hair type would be considered maybe 3A, 3 no, maybe 3B, somewhere in the threes, right? So the other day, she and I were, and it happens all the time, but I want to talk about this particular situation where she and I were walking somewhere, and a guy and a girl were approaching us, and the girl saw us coming, and the girl said, "Oh my God, I love your hair. Your hair is beautiful. Oh my God." And, in moments like those, I always pause because I'm right beside her, and I'm a Black woman. And I always wonder, like, am I invisible? Like, do you not see me? Okay, my hair is natural, so I guess that means my hair isn't beautiful. And if I wasn't the type of woman who was confident, I would totally internalize that. And this is one of the reasons why girls go and cream them hair. They just go and cream it because in a situation like that, when you're walking with somebody who has that type of hair and you have another hair texture and somebody is passing both of you, you're not in a group of 10 people, it's just the two of you, and the one woman coming. And funny thing about it is that she actually has kinky hair type. So another woman is going to look at both of us and pick one of us out and rave about her beauty and not completely ignore mine. Here was the moment that changed the entire conversation. The guy who was walking with her said, "Oh, but your hair is beautiful too. I love your hair." And then in that moment, I think she realized that she was being crazy. And she said, "Yeah, I love your hair too." And, I felt a lot of things in that moment. One, I appreciate that Black man. I appreciate men who correct us when we do bullshit. I appreciate men who call us out and in the moment correct us. Not wait until the moment passes and say, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that." So, no, in the moment, you correct it. In front of me, in front of my friend, and in front of her. Correct her. And say, "No, you can't see two Black women walking together and two Black women with natural hair, and you're going to elevate one's hair and not acknowledge the other one. You can't do that, especially because it's looking like you're elevating her because of her proximity to whiteness, and the other one is just regular Black, right?" So I appreciate him for calling her out in the moment, and she took the correction well too. So she caught herself quick. If you're that girl, just just sometimes you have to do some introspection, like check yourself sometimes. Like, am I doing this? What am I doing that is perpetuating texturism? What am I saying? How am I, glorifying certain features over black features, really? Well, I mean, it's not like my friend isn't black. She's black, but she's not stereotypical black woman. So how am I elevating features that aren't stereotypically black? We have to check ourselves. But anyway, I'm going to move on from that and really talk about what I really want to share in this video, which is how to be confident in a texturist society. And it's really something that you have to practice. It doesn't come naturally. I mean, truth be told, I don't know where my confidence came from when I went natural. I mean, I had so many naysayers, and it wasn't easy for me to get up and walk out the door and say, I'm still beautiful. But I just had to do it. I forced myself to do it, and I told myself that I was beautiful, and I felt beautiful, and I felt like, okay, well, I'm just gonna convince the rest of the world about what I feel about myself until they accept it. So I know it's not easy for many people, and it's definitely not easy to be in situations like the one I mentioned before and still feel confident. Because even in the situation where the man corrected her, you still walk away with questions. Anyway, the first thing that I would suggest is that you don't go where your features aren't celebrated. Don't go to spaces where the women are, and it happens in Jamaica. You can go into spaces where the people in the room are mostly white or mostly brown or mostly mixed people. It happens in Jamaica. And I know black girls who try to force themselves into spaces like that because they're trying to fit in. Don't go to those places. Like the salon that I spoke about the other day that refused to do 4C hair, don't force yourself into those spaces either. They don't want you, they're not celebrating you. Don't go there, right? Don't be around men who aren't celebrating black beauty. Don't go in spaces where black beauty is not celebrated. If it is about Caucasian beauty, it's not about you, right? If it's about light skin, if it's about straight hair, if it's about certain facial features, it's not about you. Don't go there. There are lots of events that I go to, places that I go to where I feel comfortable. Like certain parties and certain events I don't go to anymore. Like my friend, her boyfriend keeps a party. There's just always this elephant in the room about me not going to the party. And the reason I don't go to the party is because I don't fit into that space. The girls who go to that party, one, they dress skimpily. And I don't say I won't put on a batty rider, or pum pum shorts. I won't say I won't do that. But, you know, I don't have the big ass and the small waist, and I'm not wearing the lace front wigs and the eyelashes that are like how many inches long, and the nails. I don't wear artificial nails. There's some things like I'm just not that girl. So I don't fit into those. I have kinky hair. I don't fit into those spaces. So when I go, I feel like I stand out like a sore thumb. And I just don't feel like I fit. And I feel like other people are looking at me like, how she drop in? Like, you know what I mean? I don't dress a certain way, and it's just I don't fit in. So that space where I'm going to go into there and I'm going to start questioning myself, I'm just not going to go. The next thing is, if you have the space to correct a texturist moment, then correct it. Just like what happened with the guy and the girl, but it may not happen that way with you personally. But if your friend says something texturist, or your mother says something texturist, your grandmother says something texturist, which my granny does all the time, I will correct her and say, Grandma, no, what are you saying? Why are you asking that question? And why are you saying that about my hair? And no, are you saying that I'm not beautiful? What are you saying? So in the moment that something offensive is happening in terms of your hair texture, you attack it, address it immediately, correct them, and make sure they realize where they're going wrong, and don't feel no way that they're insulted by it, or they feel, you know, bad about it or whatever, because they should feel bad and they should think about it and correct the way that they behave. The next thing is to support media that supports your image. I used to be okay with following things, following celebrities, following people who don't celebrate my image, and I just stopped supporting that. I just stopped supporting anything where I'm not seeing my image celebrated equally with other beauties. I just don't support it at all. I don't follow pages where my beauty is not celebrated. I don't watch shows where my beauty is not celebrated. If it look like it a move towards a mixed chick kind of vibe, I'm just not going to celebrate it. If it looking too texturist, next thing I don't do is support products that are texturist. If the females that they're promoting look mixed or look, racially ambiguous, there's never a dark skinned girl. If there is a dark skinned girl, or not just dark skin, but a kinky textured girl, and her hair is not worn kinky, because a lot of times they actually either texturize the hair or they put something in there. They put weave in there, so she's not actually wearing her own hair.
Come to think of it, I can't think of a brand out there that has kinky hair natural or a 4-type 4C hair natural that is their brand ambassador. I can't think of one. I mean, like how Natasha Leeds is the brand ambassador for Alicate Naturals. I can't think of any other that maybe they have a one-off girl. I don't mean somebody who they send products and they post on Instagram. I mean a proper brand ambassador that you see on them websites, on all of their marketing tools, all of that. She's on it. I'm not seeing that. If you guys know of one, please let me know in the comment section, or even more than one. But we really have to start being more conscious in our buying, and support brands that acknowledge us and support us, that acknowledge and support your image, and stop giving our monies to the people who are not seeing us. Because outside validation matters. People think that it's trivial, but no, we do need to be acknowledged outside of ourselves. We need to see our images. Representation matters, essentially. Representation matters. So we need to see our images on all sorts of things everywhere. That is how we feel validated and we start to feel comfortable in our beauty. So I only support magazines that I can see my image in. Like them magazines, them Vogue and Mary Claire and like them white people something there. Like I'm not gonna pick up those magazines at all. Cause I'm not gonna see anything in there. I don't care what kind of Gucci. Maybe Gucci isn't for me. Cause if Gucci is in the white magazines, then maybe it's just not for me. And Louis Vuitton and all of those European brands is only the white magazine them see them in. So I don't buy those magazines. I support media that supports my image, period. The next tip is and it's kind of related to the one before about supporting media that supports your image, but it's really about removing anything that negatively affects your self esteem when it comes to your texture. What you consume in terms of media, it can be the type of people that you have around you. If you're in a relationship with a texturist boyfriend, that's not going to do much for your self-esteem. So either you try to get him to change his mind, and which is very difficult. If you have the type of man that adores Caucasian features, and you want to be embrace your African features, that is going to be a tumultuous relationship for you. You are the one that's going to suffer in that. So I would say end that relationship. Even friendships. For instance, the situation with my friend. If it was a situation where my self-esteem was so affected by, what happens when she and I are out together, because it happens all the time. It happens so much. It happens even in social settings when men approach us. Generally, when we're together, men have interest in her. So if I were the type of woman that didn't have a higher self-esteem, I don't know how I would cope. But if it is that I felt like I was that affected by it, I would simply just say, okay, we can't be friends like that, or being friends with you affects my self-esteem. And so our friendship is not going to work. I love you, I adore you, I, want the best for you, but I have to choose myself. And for my self-esteem, I'm going to choose to do that. And some people might think that that's a really insecure thing to do, but no, that's self-care. That's taking care of yourself, right? So you're not questioning and doubting yourself. That's self-care. It's okay. If you feel that you cannot handle that type of situation, take yourself away from it. I know it's hard to deal with texturous family members, but if they're going to be saying anything that's going to affect your self-esteem, then I'm not the type of person that is so attached to family members. Yeah, if you're not serving purpose in my life, we don't need to be connected. You're not serving purpose, you go your way and I go my way. That's just how I see it. This again goes back to social media. Remove any social media. Follow only social media that is going to help your self-esteem. Anything that is going to make you question or doubt your features, remove them. Don't follow them. So the next tip I would give is that we have to become more conscious of our self-talk. Be conscious of the things that we say to ourselves and also the things that we say to other people. The things that we say that might just be texturist. We really have to try to be more mindful. The thing is that we're so conditioned. A lot of it is so ingrained. It has become so much a part of us. From slavery through colonialism, there's a lot of conditioning and a lot of bad habits that we have to break. So we have to unlearn and relearn. You have to fix your mind. You have to check yourself every time you have a thought, and sometimes you won't be exactly conscious of them and say, know that you're having this thought. It gets better over time. I don't think that you are continuously and perpetually texturist or colorist or whatever it is, because I remember from earlier on checking myself on some things until now it's just kind of natural to me. That's how you program yourself, that's how you reprogram your mind. every time that something comes up, you check yourself. So over the years, it just becomes now natural that I would never say, use words like pretty hair, or I just certain things are not a part of my vocabulary, because if they ever were, and if they were ever to come out naturally, I would check them immediately. And that's how you deal with poor mental habits. So this is not even just about texturism. It's poor mental habits in general. That's how you deal with them. Whenever they come about, you check them until you reprogram your mind and you just start thinking a different way. Tell yourself good things about your hair. Self affirmations work. They work. This is how you reprogram your mind. Say it until you mean it. If you have art in your house, if you have art in your bedroom, make sure that it's art of black women. Make sure that it's art of kinky hair. Make sure that it's art of afros, right? Don't be wearing anything with any white girls on it. No Marilyn Monroe. God knows black women love to idolize Marilyn Monroe. I can't understand it. It puzzles me. Anyway, nothing with no white girls on it. No t-shirts, no prints. If you have a journal, make sure it's a Afro kinky girl on it. If you have anything at all around you with a human image, it better be of a black woman with kinky hair. We don't have nothing against anybody else, or white women or whatever. We don't really have anything against them. We just try to make sure, say, we fix our minds and the images that are around us reflect who we are and what we are. That is all. This is how we fix ourselves. This is how we fix our trauma. Yeah, this is our therapy. The next tip is to protect and defend your image always. This is something that I do regularly. So people know don't come at me with certain conversations. And this is why it's important to walk through the world with confidence and fake it till you make it too. So I make sure that when I step out of my house, I look like a black woman, and there's no question that I'm a black woman and that I am confident in that. Nobody can question that, none at all. So if anybody says anything offensive to me, I go check them immediately. I'm checking them. And if I have to get defensive, if I have to get physical, and when I say physical, I mean if somebody touch my hair and they're aggressive with it, like I will swat, I will slap your hand away, I will anything to make you know, no, listen, don't cross the line when it comes to my hair. Don't do that. Do whatever it is that you can do to protect your image. If people have negative comments about your hair in any kind of way, defend it. Always. If somebody look at you stank, defend it. You have to check them. People think I'm paranoid as hell. Like, Tafar is not that serious. Like, nobody knows you. I'm not taking any chances that that person is not being texturist or colorist or racist or whatever it is. I'm not taking the chance. I feel that it's about this because 95% of the time it is. So I'm going to act like it is. Period. And defend it. I'm on the defense all the time. So the next thing is, do not internalize the media's portrayal of you. They tend to associate our features with everything negative, from slavery to mummies to the help to Sealy. So it's never feminine and sexy and beautiful Generally, what the media portrays as those things is long hair that flows and blows in the wind, hair that falls. And that's the opposite of our hair. So we're seeing those images before us, associated with beauty, and ours isn't. It's hard for us to really think of ourselves as beautiful, which is why I'm saying rid yourself of those media, of any image that is gonna spoil your view of yourself. And if you're ever watching anything, make sure you're conscious all the time of the way that they're portraying us and how it might be affecting you. So you have to try and be conscious as much as you can. You know, you're not going to always pick up on something. Sometimes something come in late. Like, oh, Bombard, how come I didn't see that? Why didn't I see that before? But, you know, just have to try and be aware. Try to be woke, quote unquote. The other day I was watching a YouTuber and actually posted a clip from the video on Instagram, and she was talking about the fact that we do all kind of things to our hair to try and be desirable because we don't think that we're desirable with our kinky hair. We feel more desirable with looser texture hair, and it's so true. And it's because we've internalized all of those things from the media. And even the men have, you know, because they think that we're sexier looking a certain way with a certain type of hair. I mean, I'm not going to get into the men today. Those are stories for other days. But that is truly why a lot of black women will not go natural, because they don't think that they will be attractive, yes, but more about being sexy. They feel sexier with the other hair type, and it's because what does the media say sexy is? It's not what we look like naturally. The reason a lot of them end up going back to relaxed after they've been natural, because they feel ugly. But it's a media problem, trust me. The next tip is to ramp up your femininity so that you feel sexy and you feel pretty. You feel desirable. And this is just another way that you reprogram your subconscious. Victoria's Secrets. I mean, I don't know what it is about it. Subconsciously, women feel more sexy when they put on some Victoria's Secret lingerie or Victoria's Secret panties and bra. Like, it just makes us feel different. Immediately, you feel a different level of sexy. So it's the same thing. Some clothes are going to make you feel more feminine. So wear more dresses. Get your nails done. You don't have to put on artificial nails, but you can put on some nail polish. Get your nails, get some manicures and pedicures. Even just the experience makes you feel feminine. So you don't necessarily have to put on anything on your nails, but just going to the nail salon and, you know, sitting there around women in a space like that. I don't really go to the salon anymore to do my hair, but I do go there to get my nails done. Wear makeup. Play in some makeup. If you're not the type of person that plays in makeup too much, well, get some nice lip gloss. Maybe you're the type of person that's into lipsticks. Whatever it is that's gonna make you feel more feminine. And if you feel uncomfortable doing some of these things, do them until it becomes natural and normal to you. There are many videos on YouTube about how to be more feminine. There are so many. I know at least 3 channels on YouTube that promote femininity and give tips on how you can be more feminine. Read about it. Read about how to be more feminine, how to do things more feminine, how to dress more feminine, how to speak more feminine. Do all of those things, and it will add to your self confidence. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate that you listened to what I had to say, Please tell me down below how you feel about texturism. Please share your tips below on how you navigate this texturist society. How do you deal with texturist situation, texturist comments from friends, boyfriends, family, strangers even. Let me know and let's share in the comment section our experiences and how we can be more confident in our kinky type hair. All right, guys. So take care of yourself, and we'll link up in the next video. Bye.